What's up, everybody, and welcome to the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, the show that brings you the video game news you need to know each and every week. It goes live every Saturday on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom and on podcast services around the globe, places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, really any podcast service of your choosing. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Wojcik, aka HexxedPhenom, and I am joined by the Abstract Rocker, GP. GP, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's definitely quite a state of the world, but everything's been going pretty good outside of what's happening in Ukraine. And my prayers are to my friends in the Ukraine. Hope you guys are okay. It's definitely just quite an interesting thing. Other than that, everything's been going pretty good in life. Really just wonder what the fuck's gonna happen next. I'm sure everybody is in the same boat, no matter how you feel. So it's quite interesting anymore. Without a doubt.
Of course, before we move any further into the show, I just wanted to, on behalf of both of us here on the HexxedPhenom Gamescast and just, the channel as a whole, I just wanted to say that our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Ukraine. I think that this whole situation is stupid. It's a senseless war. There's going to be deaths on both sides that are useless, that are for nothing, and I just think the whole situation is fucking stupid. So our thoughts and our prayers are with the citizens of Ukraine and, of course, the soldiers that have to fight this useless war. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, and there's no room for political discourse in the comments. Anything political, anything trying to start a political argument will be deleted just because there's no discourse here. It's a senseless war. There's no reason for it. Only one man caused it, and that one man is Vladimir Putin. But with that being said, JP, what have you been playing, man?
Yo, I actually had the chance to finally check out Dying Light 2.
Nice.
It's pretty good. I have my complaints about the crap that they overthought about, but it's a really damn good game. I've been catching up on a lot of binge shows and everything else too. At the same time, we got a Call of Duty double XP week, and I've been taking full advantage of that, and I'd be dumb for not doing that, honestly, to tell you the truth. So I've been doing a lot of that, and I've been really trying to backtrack a lot with the older games. We're getting there. I do want to get on Ghostbusters Remastered.
Nice.
Other than that, just getting some Rock Band DLC, you name it. So it's been going.
Nice. Yeah, for me, pretty much the main thing I've been playing this week has been Horizon Forbidden West. I absolutely cannot get enough of this game. On my PS5 profile, it's telling me I played 30 hours. I don't think that's true. I think it's also tracking time that I was had the game paused and stuff. But if I had to guess, I would say it's probably closer to 15 or 20, somewhere around there. But yeah, dude, the game is just, it's so much fucking fun. I mean, if you liked Horizon Zero Dawn, anybody listening, if you liked Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West is more of that, but better in every conceivable way for the most part. My only real complaint is that in its condition at launch, it does feel a little bit buggier than than Zero Dawn was when it came out. So there is a couple of bugs. None of them are game breaking or anything. The only ones I've really encountered have been, I don't know if it's my fault or if I'm just stupid. There is definitely some weird collision with the mounts that you can ride around the map. Some of them will just get kind of stuck and they won't be able to move forward, so you just kind of have to walk around the an invisible barrier or something like that. Or sometimes they will get stuck on a piece of the world and they won't be able to sprint or something like that, and they'll keep starting and stopping, stuff like that. But usually it only lasts for a couple of seconds and then it's fine. And then the only other glitch that I could think of that I had was and I actually just encountered this maybe an hour ago, is that I had audio cut out on one of the cutscenes, but a restart from the checkpoint fixed that. So yeah, but I mean, the game looks great, the game runs great, and I've been having a ton of fun with it. Hopefully I'll be able to platinum it before Gran Turismo 7 comes out, which is 1 week from today. and then because then right after that, literally, so Friday is Gran Turismo 7, which I'm really excited for, and then I have like just the weekend to play that, and then WWE hits on Tuesday. Well, if you get the early access edition of it or whatever, and then a lot of my focus on the channel is going to be on that. So certainly going to be an interesting week and a half coming up. But yeah, other than that, you and I played Vanguard quite a bit a couple days ago, which I don't know. I've kind of burned myself on that game already, but I'm still down to play with friends. I usually don't play it solo anymore, though. That was fun to wreck some of that double XP. And then you and I, unfortunately, had a very close but failed attempt at Dead Ops Arcade 3 on Cold War.
Yep.
Because we're trying to get the second platinum trophy for the PS4 version.
PS4, yeah. I felt absolutely defeated, although I personally gave up, so I guess I could blame myself in a way. But the thing is, we tried. For anyone listening that has played Dead Ops 3, we really fell apart in the wild right before the final saga. That's really where it happened.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it again very soon at some point, and we are gonna totally fuck it up good, not in the bad way, but man, for us going blind in the Dead Ops again and trying to do that, I'd say we did pretty fucking good. It's just we felt severely fucking defeated, and I don't think anybody else would feel anything less, really. We
literally got to the final boss fight and then died when she was about like, I think we took off like maybe about half health to like a third of her health we took away. Yep. But yeah, we got pretty damn close.
We got pretty close. We were doing that, and I've just been trying to pick up games whenever I can. Dying Light 2, I think the biggest issue I have with the damn game is they tried way too damn hard to make a sequel, and it only took them 10 fucking years to do it. I'd say the biomarker is my biggest complaint, and probably the fact that the game literally will just fuck you out of nowhere, which is not fair remotely at all. I don't really know how else to describe it. I just think they thought the process too much, and they made a lot of mistakes. I mean, it's a great game. It really is. It's just they need to fix a lot of things that are probably wrong with this game. The biomarker, they're not. I already know this. That's going to plague Dying Light 2 forever. It's never going to come close to the first game for that reason, by far. Doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just I think they really could have thought of things in many different ways, really. And there's still time to fix a lot of the problems with the game. Can easily be hot fixed, can easily be patched.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, the way I look at it is, they want to fuck me, I will fuck them. And I found out many exploits in the game that they will never be able to patch, because they created this whole environment around the whole, you can't boost this, you can't boost that. It's like, dude, I could boost whatever I want when I want. I could jump fucking windowsills at this point. Dying Light 1 wasn't like that. You had to actually go over obstacles. I could literally jump wherever I want at this point. And the best part is, they want to sit there with UV light. That's cool. I will let everybody know right now, if you go to the Willow Windmill in the game right now, you could easily go 5 feet from the UV light and jump 3 windowsills and boost your parkour. You're very welcome for that, because they can't patch it. So, they want to try to change something up to stop people from boosting. Well, guess what? We could easily find exploits that you can't patch. It's simple as that. So that's how I look at Dying Light 2. Really good game. Too many ways to take advantage of what they tried doing, but really, really, really good game. I'm looking forward to it. It's just, I don't know, man. Some of the things they did in that game, they thought way too much about it. I don't know if it was the redos of the redevelopment. I don't know if they lost what they were doing, but they honestly just lost track of what the hell they were making. They could have literally just made Dying Light 2.0, and we would have been totally fine with it. But it's Dying Light 2 is how it is. Who knows when Dying Light 3 is going to come out, but they do have options for how to tackle really the gameplay and everything for the community. just because I've seen so many complaints about it so far. So it is what it is, but if they want to create advantages, we'll take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And they will be able to patch it. It's in the game code, and they designed the game around that. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, we talked about this in a party chat the other night, and I tend to agree. I mean, I don't necessarily hate the biomarker thing, but I think it's just an inclusion that doesn't need to be there. Like, I understand what it's trying to do, but I feel like, honestly, and I've only played the game for like, I don't really remember, like 4 to 6 hours maybe, but so I understand it's trying to create a sense of urgency during the night, because I wonder if the reason they did it is because once you got like towards the end game and you had all these great weapons and you were like fully upgraded, then I guess night wasn't scary anymore, and they wanted to have a sense of urgency there that was there all the time. I wonder, maybe. At least that's what my theory would be, is why they did it. But even where I am in the game, only 6 hours in, like, I'm more scared of the zombies that lurk in the night than I am of the biomarker, because I've amassed so many of the fucking little inhalers that like fill your bio meter or whatever the hell it is back up by like 90%. So if I'm ever getting low, I have like 40 or 50 of them already, and they're pretty easy to come across. So if it's ever getting low, I just pop one and then it refills my bar to like 6.5 minutes again. So I almost never have any sense of urgency with that thing. I feel like it's just there. Like, to me, it doesn't even matter. But
Yeah, to me,
I still think the mechanic is dumb.
Mechanic's absolutely fucking stupid. And in fact, the fact that they tried to like make a game around this mechanic is absolutely stupid. I could say other words, but I'm not going to. Yeah, it's just for me, it affects me greatly, because unless you have the max health, which you won't have until a good amount, probably like 80% of the game, you only have 5 minutes. So it's like, damn. So if you're fighting zombies for 3.5 minutes, you got to run right back up and recharge your batteries, run right back downstairs. You waste 30 seconds again downstairs, got to fight them again, got to go back upstairs. It just creates this whole like railroaded feeling that I feel like they didn't know what to do, and they were in fear that people, for some reason, didn't want more of Dying Light 1, and they had to do something different. So I think Dying Light 2 is going to be forever plagued by the biomarker, because who the hell wants to go out at night and explore when you got a time limit? It's like curfew as a child. Yep, got to be back by 9 o'clock. Don't miss it. And in the first game, it was good night, good luck. It was really cool. You can go anywhere you wanted. Now you can't do anything. You can only go a certain distance to a light. And I really don't approve of that. A majority of the people don't. I mean, I've seen so many damn reviews. They're like, this game is perfect except for the biomarker. And I'm like, it is. And it's a great game until you realize that you're on a shoestring budget style of survival, that you can't explore anywhere you want. You can only go so far. You can pop shrooms, which is funny because that's a complete drug reference. People somehow got past that, which is hilarious, really. Thought they would have been really pissed about that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I like Dying Light 2, but it's nowhere near Dying Light 1. I can tell you that. And if Dying Light 3 has some stupid mechanic, I'm not even gonna buy it. Not even gonna buy it, really, because people just want Dying Light for Dying Light. It doesn't have to be a mechanical based title. And what did they do? They made it a mechanical based title. So I don't know. Just my opinions, but a lot of people feel that way. So it's clearly a problem. But they have time to figure it out for Dying Light 3. It's just since we waited 10 years for this game, God only knows when the next one's coming.
Honestly, so far, the thing that's hindered me more than the biomarker is the limited stamina when it comes to your parkour. I think that's a dumber mechanic than the biomarker.
Yeah, the stamina inclusions are really
Because for me, like, I've done quite a bit of exploring at night, and because I could just pop those inhalers and refill my thing almost completely, I've never had to worry about the actual. All right, well, sorry about that, but yeah, to me, I've had many more instances of like falling fucking face first off the side of a building because I ran out of stamina trying to climb, as opposed to having any sort of, you know, near death experience with the biomarker. I think they're both dumb mechanics, and I think they were added just so that there was something different from the first game. But and I don't necessarily like mind wanting to do something different in the first game, but I just feel like these mechanics are ones that make the game less fun as opposed to you know, ones that are actually like fun and engaging. These ones actively, I feel like what's the word? I feel like they actively discourage exploration during early game and also during the nighttime, which is dumb because in an open world, you want to be able to just go out and explore everything and find all the secrets and stuff like that. And I feel like this actively discourages that until you know, get into the late game, which I don't really know how I feel about that, but
yeah, it's just I don't know. The stamina I knew was coming. I knew that was going to be added in, but they didn't do the best to polish it, and they could easily hot fix that. They can do a lot of things to fix the stamina system in the game. It's just like I said, they thought about it too hard. People just wanted Dying Light 2.0. They didn't have to think that damn hard, but yet it went through so many processes, and it's not what people want. It's a great game, but there's a lot of complaints to those things: the biomarker, the stamina, the fact that you can only go out at night to get a lot of inhibitors. It's just I don't know. I feel like they just tried too hard to make this a gimmick-based game. Outside of what it was Dying Light, and now it's a gimmick, a complete gimmick. It's sad. Yeah.
yeah. But we'll see where it goes from there. But GP, we have, I guess, 6 news stories. They're all pretty small, so let's get into them. The first one, the big news story for the week, is that we have some, I guess, more leaked information about PlayStation Spartacus, or their, you know, their Game Pass competitor, as people have been calling it. So we have some information about the different tiers and what they'll offer and some prices. This comes from Jeff Grubb over at GamesBeat. This one just went live yesterday as we are recording. The GamesBeat Summit returns with its largest event for lead. That has nothing to do with the article. Okay. Sony is looking to expand PlayStation Plus by introducing new features and by integrating elements from PlayStation Now. Bloomberg originally reported about these efforts, which Sony internally calls Spartacus, in December. But now GamesBeat can provide some more information on what these new offerings look like. Spartacus is an evolution of PlayStation Plus with 3 tiers. It currently calls those tiers Essential, Extra, and Premium, although those names could change between now and when the service launches. The subscription for those programs is monthly and starts at $10 and goes up to $16. And what do each of these tiers get you? Well, here's the current plan. So PS Plus Essential is essentially, no pun intended, your basic PlayStation Plus. You get PlayStation Plus, you get cloud saves, you get the free games every month. It's PlayStation Plus. It's the same price as PlayStation Plus is now. PS Plus Extra gets you, obviously, regular PlayStation Plus, the monthly games, and then game catalog. So essentially, it seems like PS Plus Extra is going to be PS Plus plus the PlayStation Now, the current PlayStation Now library, and whatever that keeps expanding into. Then we have PS Plus Premium, which is monthly games, game catalog, game streaming, classic games, and full game trials. And that's the $16 a month plan.
Wow.
So then, as the article writes it, PS Plus Essential is the PS Plus that you already know. For $10 per month, you get monthly games that you can add to your library. That works a lot like it already does today. PS Plus Extra, meanwhile, gets you the monthly games and a game catalog for $13 a month. The games catalog is a library of hundreds of older downloadable games. This seems like Sony ripped the download catalog out of PlayStation Now and popped it into PS Plus instead. PS Plus Premium gets you all of the above, and then everything else for $16 per month. Everything else includes PS Now streaming capabilities. You'll also get a library of classic games as well as a new games trial feature. Game Trials enables you to download and start playing full versions of new PlayStation games. This likely has a time limit function, which is similar to how Game Trials work on EA Play, the service from Electronic Arts. Again, all these prices and names could change, but this is the general outline of what to expect from Spartacus, and these features should make PS Plus look much stronger in comparison to Xbox Game Pass. While Sony will not include full versions of its blockbuster titles in PS Plus on day one, Games Trials will at least give a bigger audience a chance to sample those games. Sony is moving into the testing phase for Spartacus in the next few weeks, and it could announce the details of its new membership in March, although that'll depend on whether it's ready to roll out the service.
So what you're telling me is I could pay $16 a month for everything. That's really cool.
Yep. I'm assuming just like any subscription service that this doesn't say, but I assume it'll have a yearly thing for maybe like $110 a year or something like that for the full top tier membership.
That's
because what PlayStation Now is that $100 a year, or what is that now?
60.
Oh, okay. So PS Plus is 60 and PlayStation Now separately is 60. So to get basically both of them plus extra game trials and plus an extra catalog of classic games, even if it is the same price, I mean, that wouldn't be bad. But for $100 a year, that'd be a pretty damn good bargain.
Yeah, I think $100 a year is probably going to be the price that they set upon. I'm pretty excited just to see what happens, and yeah, it should be quite interesting to see where it goes. So March, I'm pretty excited as long as you get more games. I'm fucking down, man.
I just really hope, and I don't know if this is actually going to happen, but I really, 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 really hope that the PS3 games are downloadable. I don't think they will be, but I really hope they are, because there's so many PS3 games on PlayStation Now that I would love to jump into that I never got the chance to play, that I just refuse to jump into, because even with my internet, like the streaming is just, it's not that it's bad, but it's definitely not an optimal way to play. And like there's some games, like some slower games, it doesn't matter as much, but if you're playing something that requires some precision, like you're definitely going to feel the effects of that. Like if you're playing some type of shooter or anything like that, you definitely feel the delay. So
right.
Hopefully they figured that out. I don't really know. I don't expect that that'll be the case. PS1 and PS2 games should be fine when it comes to being downloaded. I have no doubt about that. PS3 games, though, iffy. But I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited for Spartacus. I've heard rumors swirling that apparently PlayStation is supposed to have a state of play in March, so I assume that's where they would reveal this.
I hope so. I'm just ready for more games, man.
Yeah, and I've seen people on social media like dogging on this, and they're like, "Oh, I still won't be able to play God of War Ragnarok for free on day one," and I'm like, I don't know why anybody was expecting that. Like, sure, people were marketing this as a Game Pass competitor, but PlayStation was never, and I don't think could ever afford to do that. Like, the reason Microsoft can afford to put all of their exclusives on Game Pass on day one is because they have so much disposable income that them losing an extra couple $100 million in, profit from the game or whatever means nothing when you compare it to the fact that now those games have like 20 million active players because they're downloading it on Game Pass for free. PlayStation, on the other hand, they put so much money into making these games that they need to see those profits back because they make significantly less money than Microsoft does as a global company, and they can't afford to eat those losses. Sure, they can provide some trials for these games when they come out, but they're never going to put something on the caliber of God of War Ragnarok or Spider-Man 2 or Wolverine out on PlayStation Plus or whatever on day one. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly right. It's gonna be interesting. I'm just ready, no matter what the price point is. I mean, if people have a problem, they should probably look at their own wallet and their assets, because that's gonna tell one hell of a story, especially when it's this damn cheap a month for all the shit we're gonna get. You can compare it to Xbox all you want, but no one gives a fuck about console wars anymore. So, it's a whole free world at this point. So you really just have everything to lose.
That is a great point, JP.
It really is.
Let's talk about one more piece of PlayStation news. This one's significantly less interesting, but still cool. PlayStation 5 players will now finally be able to share clips via the PlayStation app on their phones. This is by Cass Marshall over at Polygon. PlayStation 5 users will be getting more flexibility in how they can share their game captures, according to an announcement made Wednesday by Sony. The console manufacturer announced that it is, quote, gradually rolling out the ability to share your PS5 game captures through the PlayStation app in more regions. Americas are first up, with more countries next month, end quote. The PS app allows users to scroll through clips, watch them, download them to their mobile device, and easily post them to social media. It does not require a PlayStation Plus membership to use. Sony clarified in an FAQ following the announcement that, quote, your captures are stored for 14 days on SIE's cloud servers in order to make them available to you via the PlayStation app, end quote. Game captures allow players to briefly take a snapshot or clip a video from their recent gameplay. This is ideal for sharing great competitive moments where you hit a fantastic string of headshots, or goofy moments in a single-player campaign that you want to share with your friends. Right now, sharing these game captures through the PlayStation app is only available in Canada and Japan. Now that the feature is on the way to more regions, with the Americas next in line, it'll be easier for players to navigate and share their clips. It's obviously not mandatory, but it's a feature that's certainly nice to have, especially if you just want to share a silly or cool moment from the game without jumping through hoops. Sony will release details as to which regions will gain access to the feature next, but it'll be, quote, gradually rolling out in the Americas in the near future. So a very small update, but a welcome one, I would say, as someone who definitely has jumped through some hoops to get, their captures off of a PlayStation console before. But typically the method I've used when getting all of my Spider-Man screenshots is I would either send them to like a dummy, like send in a message to a dummy account so that I could pull the message up on the PlayStation app and then download them that way. Or if I had like a fuck ton of screenshots that I was trying to move at once, I would just plug in a flash drive, move them to a flash drive, and then move them to my computer. Then from my computer, upload them to a file service like Dropbox or whatever, and then download them on my phone. So having to jump through a bunch of fucking hoops. So
basically, yep. That's basically how it is, yep.
So now it sounds like once this feature is out, which I don't know if it is right now, it sounds like you'll be able to just, any screenshots you've taken in the last 14 days will be saved on the app. After 14 days, I guess they'll disappear from the app, but, as long as you keep up with your screenshots, it should be pretty easy to, take one, then go right in the app, download it on your phone, and then post it wherever the hell you want. I don't see anything in the PlayStation app about it right now. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, there is a captures tab now. I don't know if I haven't taken a capture recently. I mean, I could try to take one and see what happens, but yeah, interesting feature. JP, do you typically use the capture function on your PlayStation?
No. Not at all. There was this Call of Duty pack that it literally looks like me. It was I think the woman operator in Black, or no. It was in Cold War. It was a woman operator, and it looked like me with like paint splattered on its face, and it had a cowboy hat on. I'm like, wow. I take just funny screenshots like that, but then I forget about them, so I really don't even care at the end what happens,
Yeah. Well, I mean, anybody that follows me on social media knows I take a fuck ton of screenshots from the Spider-Man games. But other than that, I would say I don't use it a ton. I've messed around with like the various trophy capture options, because there are options to save screenshots when you get certain types of trophies and stuff. But okay, my PlayStation did the triple beep. I guess it's pissed off about something. But typically, Yeah, typically the only thing saved on it is trophy screenshots that are taken automatically. Because I have my thing set to take screenshots when I get platinums, and I was gonna like at the end of the PS5 generation or something, I was gonna post all of my PS5 platinum screenshots, but then my PS5 almost bricked itself a couple months ago, so then I lost all those. But whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, other than that, other than Spider-Man, I don't typically use my capture function a ton. But it's definitely nice to have. Like, the only other time I could think of that I've used it is if I've like popped off in a game of Call of Duty. I'll hold in the share button and save like the last 10 minutes of gameplay. But that's about it. I'm just going to take a screenshot of the main menu of Horizon Forbidden West and then see if it'll show up in the app here. Uploading your captures, you can see them in the PlayStation app. Okay, cool. So that's the notification I got on my PS5. And then let's see. Yeah, there it is. It's syncing. It's not showing me anything, but it's showing me that I have an active capture there. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I kind of wonder if it'll be like a lower quality since it has to be stored locally on Sony servers. I doubt that these are going to be full quality. But so for me, probably moving stuff with a flash drive is going to be better still. But if you don't care about the quality of your screenshot that much, it's still a cool little feature there.
Cool little feature, you know.
But cool little feature. Moving on from that, we are going to talk about a little game called Elden Ring, JP, because I believe, unless things have changed here, that it's currently tied for being the highest reviewed game in Metacritic history. So right now it's sitting at a 97 on Metacritic. We're just going to do a little review roundup, kind of like we did last week for Horizon. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Games Radar said Elden Ring is both a refinement and evolution of the Dark Souls formula, presenting an expansive world that's as hostile as it is inviting. Despite the occasional excess, suffering has never been as much fun as this. VGC says Elden Ring is a fantastic game that can still deliver the unmatched thrill of defeating a tough boss after an hours-long battle. Those who worship at the Church of Souls-like will find a game that's basically everything they've ever wanted. And then we'll read one more here. Games Beat says, I'm joyfully exploring every inch of the land and delighting in my discoveries, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. And all those reviews I read were all perfect 100 scores. Let me see if I can find that's a little bit lower. PlayStation Lifestyle gave it a 90. Elden Ring feels like the game from Software has been building up to ever since Demon's Souls released in 2009. A huge open world filled to the brim with challenging enemies, characters sporting obvious influence from George R.R. Martin, and the typical drip feed of lore from Software is famous for crafting, all combined to form an intoxicating adventure you won't soon forget. Yes, the formulaic nature of these games is absolutely showing after 3 console generations, but as the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's pretty interesting. For those that somehow don't know what Elden Ring is, it's essentially a Dark Souls game. It's not in the same universe, but it's basically a Dark Souls game. I believe the only main difference is that those games are typically more like linear, and this game is an open world. But yeah, people are loving Elden Ring. I've heard it's very fucking long, like not absurdly long, but like really fucking long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know it's pretty fucking long. A lot of my friends are really excited for it. I'm not personally. I'm not into that whole RPG genre or anything like that. But yes,
I'm not into the Souls games either. But I definitely wanted to touch on it because, I mean, one, because we're low on news stories this week, and I definitely needed to fill some time. But also, I thought it was interesting that it is now in esteemed company of being one of the highest rated Metacritic games of all time. I'm gonna see if I can find if there's like a list somewhere. Highest rated Metacritic games. Have they updated this? They haven't updated this. Okay, yeah. So apparently, as of right now, it must have dropped down from where it was because it's number 12 now. So their list of highest reviewed games on all platforms on Metacritic goes: number 1 is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Number 2 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Number 3 is Grand Theft Auto 4. Number 4 is Soul Calibur. Number 5 is GTA 4 for 360. Oh, I guess these are separated by platform. Number 6 is Super Mario Galaxy. Number 7 is Super Mario Galaxy 2. Number 8 is Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 9 is GTA 5 on Xbox One. Number 10 is GTA 5 on PS3. Number 11 is Disco Elysium. And number 12 is Elden Ring. So, I mean, if you take away all of the repeat games from different platforms, it sits in the top 10. So, I mean, still pretty damn impressive. I mean, as much as I don't like the Souls games, as much as they're not for me, I do recognize that they are great games for that audience. So I'm not necessarily surprised that this is speaking to that audience in the way that it is. But good for Elden Ring. I do feel bad for Horizon a little bit because this is the second time in a row where they put out a Horizon game and like a week later another game came out that completely overshadowed it. And it's not really going to affect sales, I don't think, because, I mean, just before Forbidden West came out, they had announced that Zero Dawn had sold 20 million copies. So 20 million copies in 5 years is nothing to scoff at. So basically, GP,
Yes.
if you didn't know, when Horizon Zero Dawn came out, like a week and a half later, the Nintendo Switch came out with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which everybody said at the time that Breath of the Wild was way better than Horizon Forbidden West or Zero Dawn. So Zero Dawn was out for like a week and a half, and then it got overshadowed by Zelda, and then they just released Forbidden West, and then a week later, here comes Elden Ring. So definitely being overshadowed in the news cycle, but in terms of sales, I mean, Forbidden West is, I mean, it's difficult to say because Elden Ring is multi-platform, but Forbidden West in sales is going to do just fine. So nothing to worry about, but it does stink a little bit when it comes to the news cycle of things, but the news cycle is always changing. So
It's always quite interesting.
this one is something that I found that I laughed at, GP, just because it's so fucking funny to me. EA CEO says its soccer games are being held back by FIFA. Another batch of stern words in the ongoing struggle. This is by Joseph Noop over at IGN. I hope I didn't butcher your name. If I did, I apologize. EA CEO Andrew Wilson reportedly told his staff in November 2021 that the FIFA license has been an impediment to EA's hopes for its football games. Citing sources familiar with the conversation, Video Games Chronicle reports that Wilson told staff in an internal meeting that FIFA, the organization, had kept EA from expanding FIFA, the games, into additional modes beyond a standard 11v11 or broader digital ecosystems. Wilson also reportedly stated that the only value EA received from FIFA in a non-World Cup year was 4 letters on the front of the box. Oof.
Oh.
Quote, I'm going to be more open than I've been with the outside world, Wilson reportedly said when asked why EA was considering breaking up with FIFA. Quote, we've had a great relationship with FIFA over the past 30-odd years. We've created billions in value. It's just huge. We've created one of the biggest entertainment properties on the planet. I would argue, and this may be a little biased, that the FIFA brand has more meaning as a video game than it does as a governing body of soccer. We don't take that for granted, and we try not to be arrogant. We're working really hard to try and make FIFA understand what we need for the future. It's another installment in the long-running feud between EA and the FIFA organization, which most recently saw FIFA appear to challenge EA's football monopoly. The organization released a statement in October 2021 calling itself bullish over the future of gaming and esports. The statement similarly appeared to denounce EA's grip on the football video game market, drastically outperforming its only competitor, Pro Evolution Soccer. FIFA reportedly wants to charge EA upwards of $1 billion per year for the rights to the FIFA brand. EA currently holds a 10-year naming deal with FIFA that could expire without renewal after this year's Qatar World Cup, making FIFA 23 potentially the last EA Sports football game with the FIFA branding. Quote, our players tell us they want more cultural and commercial brands relevant to them in their markets more deeply embedded in the game. Brands like Nike, but because FIFA has a relationship with Adidas, we are not able to do that, Wilson reportedly said. Quote, our players tell us that they want more modes to play, different types beyond 11 versus 11, and different types of gameplay. I would tell you it's been a fight to get FIFA to acknowledge the types of things that we want to create because they say our license only covers certain categories. Wilson also said that FIFA is impeding EA's ability to adapt quickly to player demands and adding new features or content. Quote, our players are telling us they want us to move really quick. We want you guys to do stuff fast. And in order to do that, we need a level of freedom to be truly creative, innovative, and experiment in the marketplace, Wilson said. He added that EA wants to be, quote, good partners with FIFA, but, quote, I wouldn't be surprised if we ultimately move in a different direction, end quote. So, a whole lot of drama. Sounds like almost like high school drama going on with this whole EA FIFA situation. But so it literally just seems like high school drama. Like, oh, this person said this and this person's doing that. And it's just like, okay, well, who do we believe here? I just think it's an interesting story because I think this is just a problem that is inevitable when it comes to licensed sports games because, yes, technically everything you do does have to adhere to the brand of, in this case, FIFA, in other cases, the NBA or the NFL or the NHL or the WWE or, whatever. So on one hand, I can kind of see what EA is saying, that like, oh, they're stifling our creativity. But also, I mean, I feel like this might also be a way of scapegoating the fact that EA has made the exact same sports game in almost all of their sports franchises for the better part of the last 10 years. Because I could see what they're saying if we're just talking about FIFA, but when you also consider the fact that Madden never changes and NHL never changes,
Yep.
It makes it seem a little less believable. I think it's more of just them trying to find a scapegoat to admit why there's not many new features in these games. Because of course they're not going to admit that, they're not going to come out and say, oh, well, there's no new features because we have to crunch to make these games and release them, every 12 months. They're not going to come out and say that. So I think it's just the problem with yearly release sports games. And I think it's going to continue to be a problem with yearly release sports games. So we'll see what happens. I just thought it was interesting. GP, I know you don't really care about soccer or FIFA, but do you have any thoughts?
At the end of the day, I think they both suck, but EA sucks way more than FIFA ever could. I'm just not really a soccer person at all, or a football person. So that's just my opinion, but I think EA absolutely fucking sucks. So anybody associated with them, I think, sucks. Whether it's Battlefield or it's FIFA or it's NFL. I just think they are a horrible fucking company to collaborate with. And I don't play any of their games for that fucking reason, really. I just don't think it's really worth paying for, to be honest with you.
I mean, to be fair, they don't have a ton of games worth playing, at least to me. And granted, like, I'm also one who's not into sports games, really. So, like, more than half of their catalog is just sports games. So that, almost half of their catalog every year never really appeals to me.
Back when they had
do,
NASCAR, I was interested. Way back. This is way back when, but yeah.
They do have some interesting games in their portfolio, but like usually the only ones that are good are ones that they don't have any involvement in. Like the golden example of that is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That game was incredible. And from pretty much all the news that has come out of it is that they basically just let Respawn do whatever the hell they wanted with that game, and that's the reason it turned out so well. So hopefully that is also the case with the sequel that's coming out, and hopefully that's the case with all the other Star Wars games that we talked about coming from Respawn. And I mean, they also make Need for Speed, which, like, the most recent games haven't been great. Like, Heat was okay, but it was a little barren in terms of content, in my opinion, and the support for the game got... Basically, like, the post-launch support got killed off almost immediately because, like, 2 months after the game came out, they closed out the studio that made it. So, I don't even know what the next Need for Speed game looks like. They've already gone far beyond. They normally put one out every 2 years, and I think the last one came out 4 years ago already. So, but that's also because the studio that they put in charge of the new Need for Speed, they had them finish help finish Battlefield 2042, and we all know how that went. So we'll see. I don't even know how far along they are on the next Need for Speed game. We'll see what happens, but they did have like a tech demo of a new Need for Speed engine that they showed off, like I think it was at E3 2020 or whatever event surrounding there, EA Play 2020. I believe they put out some type of tech demo for like their new Need for Speed engine, and it looked basically the same for what I can tell. I mean, it looked graphically better, but like in terms of most other stuff, it looked like Need for Speed. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This whole FIFA thing seems like high school drama to me. They're both talking shit on each other. It's just like, okay, well, there's no way to know who's telling the truth. They're probably both stretching the truth a little bit to make each other seem bad. I don't see what the point is, because if you're going to drop your relationship with FIFA, just do it amicably and just be like, hey, we're not renewing the contract. But instead they're out here like shitting all over the brand. I don't think that's a good look, but it's EA, so they're going to look like shit no matter what. So
yeah, exactly right. They're going to look like shit no matter what.
All right, we got 2 more news stories here. Activision Blizzard shareholder sues over the Microsoft sale. This is by Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon. An Activision Blizzard shareholder has filed a lawsuit against the game publisher and its board of directors over alleged Securities and Exchange Act violations in its proposed plan to sell to Microsoft. The lawsuit filed by shareholder Kyle Watson was filed in California on Thursday. Watson's lawyers called Activision Blizzard's plan for the sale. Watson's lawyers called Activision's plan for the sale, outlined in a recent Security and Exchange Commission proposal, quote, unfair for a number of reasons, end quote. One of which, the lawyer said, is that the board is looking to, quote, procure for themselves and senior management significant and immediate benefits, end quote. The lawsuit calls into question potential conflicts of interest, specifically that the deal is, quote, is not in the best interest, end quote, of Activision Blizzard. Watson nor company stockholders, and, quote, will produce lucrative benefits for the Activision Blizzard officers and directors. It also referenced the, quote, golden parachute that some executives like CEO Bobby Kotick will receive should he be fired. The SEC filed called the 14A. The SEC filing called a 14A includes information necessary before shareholders vote in agreement. Elsewhere in the filing, Watson's lawyer alleges that Activision Blizzard's February 18th SEC filing is, quote, materially misleading and incomplete, end quote, violating the Exchange Act. It calls out missing information in the SEC filing relating to the ad hoc committee that ran the sales process, as well as information about, quote, post-transaction employment, end quote, and other relevant data. Watson is looking for the court to order Activision Blizzard to release a new SEC preliminary proxy statement that includes more facts and no, quote, untrue statements. Should the proposal transaction go through, Watson is looking for rescissory damages. I don't know what the hell that means. As part of the proposed transaction announced in January, Microsoft is slated to buy Activision Blizzard for $95 a share for a total cost of $68.7 billion, the largest acquisition in history. In gaming history, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick continues to lead the company through the merger despite calls for his resignation over his involvement in the Activision Blizzard sexual harassment, gender discrimination allegations, and then it just kind of goes on to kind of update or chronicle all of the stuff that we've seen so far. There are a couple of updates to the article, though, so let's read those. Update. An Activision Blizzard spokesperson provided the following comment to Polygon. Quote, we disagree with the allegations made in this complaint and look forward to presenting our arguments to the court, end quote. And then there's another update. A second shareholder lawsuit has been filed against Activision Blizzard and its board of directors, this time in New York court. A plaintiff, Shiva Stein, is bringing similar complaints to the court, specifically that Activision Blizzard's proxy disclosures aren't good enough. Of note regarding Stein, however, is that she's reportedly on one of the most prolific security plaintiffs in the United States. second only to the Securities and Exchange Commission itself, according to Reuters. Legal data company Lex Machina reported in 2021 that Stein filed 124 security lawsuits from 2018 and 2020. Half of the lawsuits she filed in 2021 have since been dismissed voluntarily, Reuters said. Stein's lawyers told Reuters it was because, quote, the defendant corporations made corrective disclosures and more fully informed public shareholders, end quote. So, GP, I know I read a lot there, but it sounds like, to boil it down, to simplify it a bit, it seems like what they're saying is that the information that Activision has provided on what happens when this deal closes is, they claim, incomplete or false. And so that's what these two lawsuits are trying to claim. I don't really know what to say about this. I just thought we should cover it because we cover all the Activision news, but
yeah, I really don't know what to say about it. It's just quite an interesting thing, and if they can be bought, I guess it's going to be done. It's just how's the company going to be when they get it? Probably nothing like it is now or how it was. So I don't know. It's cool knowing that they might acquire it, but is it really going to be worth the risk to really their recognition in their face? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, to tell you the truth. It really will be interesting.
I mean, I think regardless, the main reason they're buying them isn't for the actual name brand recognition of Activision. I think they just want the IPs associated with it. I mean,
I think probably the reason is, but yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, if you don't have a reputation, you're not getting sales. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting how that works.
I mean, it depends. I mean, it depends how they handle it. Like, if they wanted to, they could honestly just drop the Activision name altogether once they buy the company. I mean, like, because internally all the employees are going to report to Phil Spencer, who's the head of Xbox. So I don't even know if they'll technically be under the Activision banner anymore. I mean, it all depends on what Xbox does, but I mean, granted, like, it's a different situation because people love Bethesda, but right now Bethesda still publishes under the name Bethesda. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, they don't publish under Xbox Studios. They publish under Bethesda still. So, but I mean, with Activision, if they think that having Activision on the box is going to ruin sales, they could just take the name away and just have it say Xbox Game Studios on the case of the next Crash Bandicoot or Tony Hawk or even the next Call of Duty game. So we'll see what happens. But JP, speaking of Call of Duty, the last news story for today is that there won't be a new Call of Duty in 2023, says report. This year's Modern Warfare and Warzone releases will be supported for 2 full years. This is by Austin Goslin over at Polygon. Treyarch's next Call of Duty game won't arrive in 2023. While this year's Call of Duty is still on track, next year's has been delayed and will not release in 2023, according to a report from Bloomberg. This year's Call of Duty will be a new entry in the Modern Warfare franchise and is developed by Infinity Ward, Activision announced earlier this month. Infinity Ward will also develop a follow-up to Call of Duty Warzone, one that is supposed to launch sometime in 2022. Bloomberg's report says that this year's Call of Duty release is planned to get, quote, a steady stream of additional content, end quote. Bloomberg also reports that there will be a, quote, new free-to-play online title, end quote, release next year that Treyarch is helping develop. With Sledgehammer making last year's Call of Duty Vanguard and this year's entry being handled by Infinity Ward, the next Call of Duty entry will come from Treyarch and be part of the Black Ops series. After the delay, this new Black Ops game could be expected sometime in 2024. The delay means 2023 will be the first year since 2004 that the series has not had a mainline entry. The Call of Duty franchise debuted on Windows PC in 2003, meaning that the series will also miss a major new release for its 20th anniversary. This delay in Call of Duty 2023's development also comes at a time of massive change for Activision Blizzard. Earlier this year, it was announced that Microsoft will purchase the publisher for $68.7 billion. The deal is expected to close sometime and completed in Microsoft's fiscal year 2023, which would likely make Treyarch's next Call of Duty game the first under the Microsoft umbrella. According to Bloomberg's report, however, the decision to push back the game was not related to the acquisition, but instead had to do with the fact that last year's Call of Duty Vanguard failed to meet expectations, leading to fears that the company may be publishing new iterations too quickly. And there's an update here. Activision has responded to Bloomberg's report with a statement from spokesperson. Quote, "We have an exciting slate of premium and free-to-play Call of Duty experiences for this year, next year, and beyond. Reports of anything otherwise are incorrect. We look forward to sharing more details when the time is right." So, JP, What do you think about all this?
Well, I know we talked about this the other night. Activision should have really learned their problem when it came to Guitar Hero, which was another huge series that they had that published yearly. We all know where Guitar Hero went along with Rock Band and the whole plastic genre in itself. It oversaturated itself and it was not worth anything. And it got to the point where no one cared. There were no sales. Guitar Hero came out with a complete ripoff because they tried to capitalize on Rock Band 4. They completely failed and Rock Band triumphed for the first time in that whole feud. And it got to the point where Guitar Hero refunded people's money for playing Guitar Hero Live because it was that fucking bad. And it really was fucking bad. I got to play it at Stevens. It was not good at all. I got to say, they should have really learned their lesson with the whole plastic instrument oversurge because Call of Duty is now in the same boat. And tell you the truth, they really have to go to a bi-yearly series. Because I don't know how they're going to salvage making a Call of Duty game every single year in today's market without charging for a season pass, without charging for extra kind of crap. And I mean, I know you got Warzone, which can go to hell for all I care, but the thing is, you can't keep oversaturating your market. And that's exactly where it went with the yearly installments into the generations. Now it takes more money, more time, more manpower to make games. You got fucking Warzone over here that's free, so majority of people don't even pay to play this game. And then you got microtransactions in Warzone, and it's officially oversaturating the market. That's all they needed to oversaturate. If Warzone never existed, they could keep going year by year. But now you got Warzone in between each installment with new updates, new microtransactions, new counteracts, new whatever. Now you have a problem because you have a lot of people that aren't paying extra incentive and the people that are paying your average incentive. It's just like how Guitar Hero was. You can carry over your import for what, $5? We're at the same problem that they had with Guitar Hero and the plastic instrument genre, but now it's Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty should have done this a while ago with a bi-yearly release with extra content. Cold War is the first game and the most supported Call of Duty game in history, which is funny because people try to plague that Cold War didn't do anything, but it exceeded sales.
As of right now, sorry to cut you off, I would say that Black Ops 3 is still the most supported one because even not including Zombies Chronicles, that came out like the next summer, but even before that, they were still putting out not DLC maps, but like, granted, yes, it was in the supply drops, but they were still putting a shit ton of content in the game. It was all locked behind this fucking supply drops, which was dumb, but they were still supporting the game with content. It was just under their old shitty microtransaction system.
Yeah, so that's totally different than what we got now because it's all free. Cold War has completely triumphed with or without Zombie Chronicles, and the fact that we got the rumor that Zombie Chronicles 2.0 is going to come to Cold War in 23 as a back pocket transaction from Activision sounds pretty accurate. I'd like to see a zombies game, but I doubt that's going to happen at this point. So
I see some of the leakers claiming that there's going to be that this like new free-to-play game that they're claiming for 2023 is going to be a zombies game that Treyarch has some type of, they're not developing it, but that they have some type of say in it. I don't know. Like, I kind of doubt
maybe
it.
maybe after Black Ops 5, not anytime soon. I'm sure Zombie Chronicles 2.0 is the back pocket transaction.
I could see Zombies Chronicles either coming to Cold War sometime in between now and Black Ops 5 or whatever it ends up being called, or it could be they could hold it off and use it as part of the year 2 content for Black Ops 5 or Black Ops 2 or whatever the hell it ends up being called. But
we'd probably go for both installments, honestly, because Zombies Chronicles 2.0 isn't going to be that damn big. I mean, let's be real. It's going to be the Black Ops 2 maps. It's not going to be as big. It's going to make money. I think Black Ops 5, honestly, could just charge you for the whole damn package for $40. I'd pay $40 for every goddamn map. I mean, it's really just a simple transaction when you think about it. But yeah, I think we're going to see Zombies Chronicles 2.0 in Cold War, not Vanguard, because Vanguard can't hold that without a doubt. And they said there's no round-based survival, and Cold War is the last game that had it. So Cold War is probably going to get it in 23 if I had to guess. That means Cold War, without a doubt, will be the definitively. Yeah, in fact, that will be the most supported COD game of all time because you're talking 3 years of content. So Cold War, as much as people want to ignore it, it really is the most historic COD for many reasons. Really, it shouldn't have happened. Happened only because of a dispute between two companies that can't get their shit together. Not naming anybody, Sledgehammer and Raven, but
it is kind of crazy that
it was really crazy how it happened, and here it is being this historical COD game by sales and by demand, and now Zombie Chronicles 2.0 is probably going to be a 23, and that'll sell a lot because obviously Vanguard is not as successful as Cold War, and they're not going to add it in Vanguard. I can tell you that. There's no.
I mean, Vanguard was fighting an uphill battle from the start. I mean, it was just like even before like we knew anything about like the zombies mode in general, like one, it not being an established IP, like Modern Warfare and Black Ops are going to sell way more just based on name alone than Vanguard or World War II or anything that's, you know, not Black Ops or Modern Warfare. So, you know, Vanguard already was gonna sell less based on name recognition alone, but then I saw a lot of people complaining about the World War II era. I personally didn't care either way.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, it was fighting an uphill battle from the start, definitely.
I think it's funny how people bitch about World War II, but it's never going to go away because Call of Duty started in World War II and it won't ever go away. So if you're one of those people, guess what? You're going to be getting more World War II games soon. Probably even World of War remastered, honestly. That, you know, I was thinking about that. Call of Duty turns fully 20. Honestly, they could probably easily do something with World of War for that. It's going to happen. We all know it's coming. I mean, it's the only game that hasn't been remastered that is an ironclad Call of Duty. It's going to happen. Wouldn't surprise if it happened 24, really. They got an extra year. Why not? Why not have Raven remaster World of War? Maybe multiplayer. There's always been rumors because World of War was the breakthrough definitive experience for a whole game outside of Modern Warfare. Is, you know, so I could see it because if Modern Warfare remaster had multiplayer, why not World of War multiplayer? I mean, it kind of makes sense. They're two of the same from the same cloth, you know. So
well, I think if what they're saying is true and the reason they're actually delaying the new game is because they feel like their games are cannibalizing each other, then on top of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone, then there would be no reason to put out a third game with multiplayer. I could see the campaign for World at War getting remastered, definitely, but I don't think any of the remastered games are going to be getting multiplayer.
I think it's sad though because they don't want to admit that the current product isn't what it is. I mean, let's be real. Modern Warfare only succeeded as a remaster because he had such a shit sequel game as in Infinite Warfare as the main sampler, which is funny. That would have been the year Battlefield would have won, but they counted as a sale because of Modern Warfare, which is just shitty tactics. But that's Activision for you.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion on the whole thing is I agree with you that they should have done this a while ago. I'm also excited to see what Treyarch does. I really hope that their involvement with whatever that free-to-play game isn't like super deep, because I really want to see what Treyarch can do with a fully uninterrupted, full like dev cycle just in general. But now that they're going to have an extra year on top of that, I mean, the last Black Ops game, the last Black Ops game we got where they had a fully uninterrupted, nothing was forced upon them cycle was technically Black Ops 2. They had a full dev cycle for Black Ops 3, but they were forced to do the advanced movement, which everybody has differing opinions on. Personally, I loved Black Ops 3, but the one thing I hated about it was the advanced movement. But
zombies. That was it.
The multiplayer would have been great if it didn't have advanced movement, but so I mean, and I was thinking about it the other day, like Black Ops 3 still to this day, I think had the most content in a game at launch, because it had a full campaign, it had multiplayer, it had zombies. Zombies had 2 main maps, it had Dead Ops, it had the Nightmare campaign mode, which sure wasn't anything great, but it was still content. Then it had that weird free run mode, which was like that speed running, free parkour, advanced movement, free run mode. And like all this shit, there was so much in there. There was theater mode, ranked play at launch, which we haven't had a ranked play playlist at launch since Black Ops 3. And it's just like, Treyarch can really fucking get shit done when they are not, when they have a full dev cycle. So I'm excited to see what could potentially come of the next Black Ops game.
I'm sure it'll be Black Ops 5, because I don't know, they went as far with that shitty logo for Black Ops 4. You might as well make a cool ass B. Personally, why the fuck not?
Or JP, they could make Black Ops 2-2.
2-2. That's the longest.
That's what they got to do.
It's the longest series in COD history too, when you think about it. Black Ops succeeded Modern Warfare with Black Ops 4. So we're still going with Black Ops 5. Although I think the main installment should end. It's blatantly obvious the end is near, because
I could see them doing that, where it's like they start filling in the gaps in the story that they have right now.
Yep.
Kind of like how Cold War filled in the gaps. I mean, granted, there is still a lot more that you could fill in between Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, but it picked something kind of in the middle of Black Ops 1 and 2 and told that story. Which actually, I'm trying to think. I think that campaign actually takes place. I think the Cold War campaign actually takes place before any of the past segments that are in Black Ops 2.
Yeah, it does.
So,
it takes place 2 years before. 2 or 3 years.
So I could see them doing a game that's between
80s and 90s. The 90s would be great. I'm sure they'll probably end up doing that.
Either that, or I could see them doing something where it's some time period between the past segments of Black Ops 2 and the present segments of Black Ops 2. So sometime between the late 80s, early 90s, and 2025. So I guess that would make it more of a modern thing. So maybe they would go a little bit into the past or a little bit further into the future, but it's not like advanced movement into the future. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Should be interesting.
But guys, let us know what you think about the news this week in the comments down below. But guys, this has been the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, the show that brings you the nerdy video game news you need to know each and every week. And until next week, guys, have a phenomenal week.